Hi everyone, welcome to Aspire Up's podcast series. And I am Dinesh Khanna, the co-MD of Aspire Up. And today we have Saurabh Jaggi, better known as Pixie, who is the Head of Culture, Learning and Talent Development at Maxis. Welcome, Pixie.
Thank you, Dinesh. Pleasure being here.
And today we're going to have the opportunity to dive into a little bit on leadership, L&D, learning and development, and also transformation. And what I wanted to do today, Pixie, to make things a little bit interesting for this particular podcast, is to get into a rapid fire round where I'll throw across a couple of questions and I want to see your spontaneous response to them.
All right.
Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's shoot.
Leadership philosophy in one line.
It's all about 3 E's. Enable and empower people to help them excel in life.
Fantastic. The second question for you, prefer remote working or office buzz?
Office buzz. I can get things done faster when I'm in office.
Great. I have to agree with that. Rank in the order of hiring. Hire for attitude, skill, or experience?
Attitude, followed by skills, followed by experience.
Okay, that's a nice flow to it. Next, data-driven decision making or instinct?
Well, the politically correct answer is data-driven decision-making, but I'm a very instinctive person. I usually go with my instinct and then validate that with data.
Fantastic. Next, performance management appraisal. Keep it or kill it?
I would say repair it and then keep it.
Interesting. If you are not in the corporate world, what would you be doing, Pixie?
I'll be making butter chicken and feeding the world.
I'm really interested to know more about that butter chicken story. We'll get to that later down the track. One mistake most L&D professionals do.
They believe that offering a large learning buffet is equal to L&D excellence, but it's not.
Very true. Best advice you received at work?
Many years back, someone said, don't overthink, grab the opportunity first and then figure out how to do it.
Fantastic. I have to agree with that statement. Go roll with the confidence, right? I wanted to move to a lighter note, Pixie, about the butter chicken.
Butter chicken, yes.
And I wanted you to
we're the
share
butter
with
chicken
us.
family,
Yeah, I wanted to share. I mean, I've got some insight, but I want for the viewers' benefit for you to share a little bit of insight in terms of that in a deeper way.
So during independence, my grandfather, late Mr. Kundan Lal Jaggi, he transitioned from the Pakistan side of India to India. And when he moved here, the only thing he knew was how to run restaurants or how to make tandoori chicken, because that is something he was doing in the Pakistan side of India earlier. And when he came over, he started selling food on cart, and then later on, with the help of his 2 partners, the 3 of them opened the first restaurant in independent India called Moti Mahal in Daryaganj. And tandoori chicken was one of the first items we started selling or got popularized because of us. And then how the tandoori chicken became butter chicken is another interesting story. How a certain family came to the restaurant. It was closing time. The family wanted something in gravy, not in dry, and we only had tandoori chicken left. How my grandfather used the leftover tandoori chicken with tomatoes and butter and some of the spices that he had and just concocted a dish only for that person. And how that became so interesting and so popular that he started coming regularly and started demanding that dish. So it became a fixture in our menu and we started calling it Murk Makhni, which in English translation became butter chicken.
Interesting.
And then that was the advent of butter chicken in the world. Now I think it's probably, when you talk about northern part of India, it's the most popular dish all over the world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a big part of the entire world. Everywhere you go today, butter chicken is a household name, and not in fact in Europe as well when you think about it, in the UK.
So UK, they've got variants, but derived from butter chicken. They call it chicken tikka masala, and in different countries different names, but that's the genesis of it.
Fantastic. What a wonderful story.
And now I'm very happy that a brother is carrying that legacy forward.
Nice.
So while it's been a few years now, he's opened a chain of restaurants called Daryaganj, the place where we started from. Daryaganj by the inventors of butter chicken and dal makhni. And he's got many outlets in India and one in Bangkok.
Fantastic.
And we're taking the legacy forward.
Fantastic. I have to tell you, in 1997, I had the privilege of eating in that restaurant.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I see.
Back in the day. Now let's get into some more deeper questions for you, Pixie. The first is, when we talk about transformation in L&D, what does that really mean in your perspective beyond tech and digital learning?
Transformation for me is transition to a new way of thinking, to a new way of working, and significantly better. Now, when we talk about the L&D space, there are few transitions I think L&D professionals need to make. First is transition in mentality and mindset and behavior. So we have to stop thinking like a service provider and think more like a strategic advisor. The next transition is in terms of delivery and approach. So one size fit all philosophy is not relevant anymore. With the advent of AI, we can do hyper personalization. Also, I think targeted programs are more applicable than standard training products nowadays. Ones which can really drive outcomes. So we've got to focus on them. And I think the third transition is how we measure success. Rather than thinking of learning hours and learning NPS, I think let's focus more on what outcomes are we able to drive. Are we able to impact the business facing KPIs for the organization? Are we able to deliver better in terms of lead time, in terms of resolution? Are we able to create a better succession pipeline so that we don't have to hire leaders externally? Are we able to innovate better, create more revenue stream? I think these are areas we need to think about. And these are the real outcomes that will move the needle for the organization. So for me, this is real transformation for L&D.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for those insights, Pixie. Given your vast experience in operational excellence, what tips can you share with others on how to embed operational excellence within the Learning Academy?
Within L&D. So I can talk about my story, right?
Right.
I've been working for nearly 30 years now. And large part of my life I've spent driving operational excellence for banks. So I'm not from telecom, I'm not from HR, I'm not from Malaysia, but I've worked in many parts of the world driving operational excellence, Lean Six Sigma, innovation, change. So when I joined Maxis and I didn't have an HR, pure traditional L&D background, I actually used a lot of operational excellence principles to run the function in the organization. I think a good starting point for L&D leaders is to embed and embrace lean thinking, the basic principles of operational excellence. It's a good start. Then I think the next part is optimization. We've got to review every training product that we offer, every training, every tool, every platform. We've got to question ourselves, what value is it driving? What outcomes are we able to achieve with the help of that? What money are we spending? We're going to have all these conversations and if possible, we might want to reduce, we might want to optimize. Because I genuinely believe that it's okay to say no. It's okay to do lesser things, but with greater focus, with greater effort, with greater intent, so that we're able to drive out. Like I said earlier, offering a large learning buffet is not equal to L&D excellence. Course is not equal to capability.
Sure.
Right? Then I think from an infrastructure point of view, again, it's about optimization. Look at your L&D budgets. Look at your, are we able to levy the HRDC funds? Are we able to do it optimally? Any online learning platforms are we using? What is the occupancy rate in that? Any training that we do, what is the no-show or the cancellation rate that we have? Every training costs money. So one of the first things we need to do is we need to optimize. Every ringgit, every dollar that we spend needs to drive an out. So operational excellence is nothing but thinking from a business perspective, thinking from a customer perspective. Are we able to drive value at the best possible cost? So I think those are some of the principles we need to keep in mind. And finally, as I've already mentioned, I think embracing AI and technology to drive efficiencies is very important. So my advice to the budding L&D professionals would be start with investing in a really good learning management system, learning experience platform, talent intelligence platform. You have no idea how much time and effort it will save for you, and you can move up the value chain.
Fantastic. We believe in the learning space, there's a lot of benefit that comes from AI. So what is your view on that?
See, AI is a game changer today, and not just for business, not just for industry, but also in the learning space. We are already seeing curations becoming easier, course building is becoming so much easier. Knowledge management has been taken over by, the Gen AI tools that's available. There is so much that AI is already doing and can do. For me, what I'm personally most excited about is hyper-personalization at scale. Now, imagine, let me give you an analogy. Let's say if somebody wants to become fitter, wants to prepare for a marathon or wants to climb a mountain, shed weight, shed fat percentage, etc. Right? So earlier, that person would be given a very standard diet, a very standard routine in the gym, do 1 hour of this, Mondays do this, Tuesdays do this, standard diet, and that program will be rolled out to hundreds of people. But today, it's very tailored, depending on what your medical indicators are, what your blood report is saying, what are some of the allergies you have, then looking at your physical indicators, looking at what goals do you want to achieve in terms of fitness, how much time frame do you have. A very customized program can be drawn for you. Now, just transition, copy the same analogy to learning. How is it different? Why do we need to have one standard training product rolled out to hundreds of people? Right? With the advent of AI, imagine this situation where you have an human capital management system where your performance data is sitting, your manager feedback is sitting, you have a talent intelligence platform where the skill mapping, skills inventory is sitting, expected behavior is sitting, expected skills are sitting. Now, if these two systems can talk to each other and send signals to the learning experience platform, where you can ask the LXP, the GenAI engine residing within the LXP, to create a individual development plan for you, which is time-bound, focusing on addressing some of the skill gaps you have or behavioral gaps you have. And the LXP can actually create that development plan for you, point you towards the various programs in the ecosystem, create assessment in a time box fashion, and also track your progress. Now, isn't that approach better than rolling out standard programs to hundreds of people and then tracking their learning hours and tracking their training inputs?
Definitely.
This becomes more bespoke, it's more customized.
Yes.
And it's helping you address certain aspects of your skills or behavior.
Yeah, I think the key there is that customization and that unique connection to the individual gaps that exist within an organization for the people.
I think a great starting point, as I said, is the HCMS, the Human Capital Management System or the HR Information System, needs to talk to the Talent Intelligence Platform, needs to talk to the Learning Experience Platform, the Learning Management System. Once there is an interface of these three systems, they can talk to each other, then using the, and they're all powered by AI today. Such customized plans and reports can be created.
Yeah, I think it also increases the accuracy of what you're customizing.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a step back and just look at your leadership journey when you started your career and as you progress, and also look at what are some of your key leadership values that you believe is important for any leader to have. We can share some insights talking about your experience as a leader and some values.
I think courage and integrity are two non-negotiable values that every leader must have. In the start of my leadership journey, talking about many years back, I actually let down a team member in my first job because I didn't want to confront my manager. There was some billing issue that had happened, and I know that the manager had given permission for, it's okay, let's do it this way. And then it got escalated later, and the manager pushed all the blame to that individual. And that individual was looking at me because I was a supervisor or support, and I didn't. And that troubled me for a few days. But then my grandfather guided me, and he showed me the mirror and said, leadership and courage are two non-negotiables for any leader. And if you don't have either of these, then you better step down. Do something different, but don't be a leader. And that stayed with me. I addressed the situation back in time, but these are two traits I've never let go of in the last 25, 30 years. No matter what the situation is, and you will lose some, you will gain some, but you will sleep better at night, you will eat better. You won't feel guilty.
Thank you for sharing that deep insight in terms of the failure as a leader. But I also want to know, I'm sure the viewers would like to also know, over the last, 2 decades or more, what would you say was, this pinnacle of your success as a leader leading a team?
I've never thought, on these lines about pinnacle of success. I think success and failure is part of everybody's journey. What has helped me, I would say, as a leader is adaptability. I've moved industries from hotels to insurance to banking, telecom, GCC space. I've worked in shared services centers. I've spent most of my time driving operational excellence. I've shifted from program management role to people capability building role, etc. One thing that's helped me is adaptability. I think understand your audience. I'm always a trainer at heart. Similarly, understand your team. Understand their strengths and weaknesses. Understand what works or not. Share your non-negotiables with the team upfront whenever you join a new place, so you have new people joining you. Certain things are non-negotiable, and certain things there'll be tolerance to do this versus that. Be very, very transparent with your team, because in your heart, in their best interest, it's always about how do we empower them, how do we enable them. A role of a leader is to create more leaders. If you're not creating more leaders, then you're failing at leadership. So be very transparent with them. Tell them what's working for them, what's not working for them, and guide them, mentor them, coach them, give them honest feedback, not just as a tick box exercise during mid-year and year-end. I think more often than not, if your team is happy, if they have trust in you, that even when you're harsh with them, it's for their good, success will follow. Your numbers will follow, your KPIs will follow. Problem solving will become easy in the team because there's trust. But if any of these things are missing, then success will be lesser. You'll have more failures. You'll be doing more of firefighting through the year than anything else.
Interesting. I love that. Non-negotiables, and a leader's role is to build other leaders. I think that's very, very powerful. So first, I want to say thank you very much for a wonderful session. Before we end the session, is there any last pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience in terms of leadership or your own personal values?
I'm no one to share any pearls of wisdom with anyone, but the only thing I would say is don't be afraid of AI, embrace AI. That's the way forward. And in terms of leadership, I think the values that you carry as a leader, never negotiate on them. There'll be times when you'll be forced to compromise, but don't compromise. It's fine. That too shall pass. Remain strong. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Big C. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Signing off from Aspire Up. Bye.